is vomiting. Welcome to my real life. I actually might not edit that out. I've got the pooch sitting with me now. She seems fine. I think that was just a false alarm, a loud false alarm. Most people, when they think of heart attack, they see the person, I was going to say man, because generally it's been men, clutching their chest and falling to the floor. I actually basically worked through mine. Yes, I had pain, I took a little break, and then I went back to work. Like a lot of people, I used to think that when people had heart attacks, if they didn't die, they would then have treatment, either surgery or a stent put in, and then they would be able to resume their lives. And, 3 months later, you should be fine. And that's what a lot of people believed when I got ill. But when, a year down the road, 2 years, I was still not well, they weren't too sure what to make of that. And I learned the hard way that not all heart attacks are the same. Mel came into existence, and I don't have his outfits. I call him him. It's him, her. It changes all the time depending who she's representing. So, first crochet doll, and I purposely made it neutral because I wanted to represent the most amount of people ever. And yes, I know it's white. I have made several that are different colors. I have a lovely brown one that is an amputee with the arm that removes with a magnet. I have another one that has a scar from a surgery. I have different sizes, different colors of these, and someday I will show them all. But anyway, the purpose, when I first made Mel, I was copying that doll that I saw online. And by copying, I wasn't trying to make it exactly the same. I was inspired by it. Yeah, let's use the word inspired. I ended up making a little hospital gown for Mel and put Mel in different situations, in the waiting room, in a doctor's office, sitting on the medical exam room, lying in a hospital bed. And then, anyway, you can go through my videos. I will put a link to the playlist because there are a few of them. So that is how this whole crochet doll making and giving them a voice started. So the first one with a personality. I'm not saying that Mel does not have personality, because Mel certainly does. The first one who looked like someone was this one. Do we look alike? I think we look alike. She's quieter than me. There, sit there. Dee has extra clothing. She has a skirt, she has a little hoodie, and she has a little purse. And in the little purse is a tiny, tiny bottle. Oh, we're supposed to do this, right? When we show things. A little tiny bottle of nitroglycerin. I thought that was funny. Because I have a little purse like that myself that contains my nitroglycerin, and I try to wear it all the time when I'm out of the house, because you never know when you're gonna need it. So I made this one, and I was quite proud of myself. And I made 2 more that looked like my sisters. I made some for other friends of mine based on how they look, or caricatures of them. So then I started to make other dolls in different shapes and sizes and colors. And I was trying to think, well, what could I do with that? And do what you know, or, create something out of what you're living through. On top of the hard stuff, menopause came with a vengeance. And like I kind of joke around that, 3 years post-menopause, I still cry every single day. I don't like bawl, but tears come to my eyes every single day for no reason. I'll watch a video and I'll see a cute little goat, the tears come. I'll hear a particular sentence, the tears come. So I'm starting to get used to that. But there was a lot of, physical manifestations of menopause that were uncomfortable. And the moods, I was like, it was a roller coaster. And combined with the illness stuff, it was interesting because if you're going to be a good patient, you can't get angry. You can get angry in your house and you can get angry when you're bitching with somebody, but you can't get angry at the doctor. You can't get angry at the nurses who treat you because having been an inpatient a couple of times, they're more likely to be kind to you if you are kind to them. And I know it shouldn't be that way, but at least that's my reasoning, is that I tried to be as nice as possible with the people who were helping me. So the whole menopause topic, I was finding that nobody talked about it, and any symptom I had was always blamed on my heart conditions. So I was frustrated about that, and come to find there's a whole other whack of things. I've been blaming hot flushes or night sweats on menopause, which apparently now it might be sleep apnea. I think when you have an illness, there's a tendency to want to see that with that one lens and blame everything on that. So menopause came and I had all these dolls that I didn't know what to do with. And people were saying, well, why don't you sell them? And I'm like, no one's going to pay me what they're worth. Because most people don't realize the time it takes and the cost of the wool and the fact that they're all unique. And so I'm not saying I won't sell them later, but for now I need them. So I started, actually when I was making them for friends, before I would hand them over, I would take pictures of the dolls in different positions. And then I would create backgrounds and put them in situations using Canva, and that was a lot of fun. So I did that, and then I thought, okay, well, I can do that with all these dolls. So let me show you some of the dolls. I need some coffee first. I'm hoping that when I do videos like this, we can just have a chat, because I'm not up to reading a script. I know my life pretty much. And my goal is to maybe be present in the long form videos, but in the shorts, I'm going to try to mostly have the dolls, but they will be using my voice. All right. So I will introduce some of the dolls, and they will be introducing themselves in some of the short videos. But okay, here we have Doris, and Doris has an arm sticking out here because originally she had a different head. I had created her based on someone a character I had seen who had boxing gloves on. So she had a boxing glove on this one, which, might work with her personality as well. Or I might try to fix the arm at some point. It's hard to pose her in different positions when her body is stuck in one position. So this is Doris. I have assigned her to be the organization coach. And she's kind of a no-nonsense gal. And her motto is, why declutter when you can set it on fire? She's not going to set everything on fire, but it's basically, do you need this? No, get it out. Kind of like the Swedish death cleaning approach that is talked about a lot. That basically, if I was to die tomorrow, what are the things in my space that my sister would not want to have to deal with? So basically things, I had notes from university and all of that stuff. I've been shredding a lot of stuff. I still have a few things to shred. But Doris here is going to help me set some limits and get the work done. Then we have, bedhead. This is Hilda, and she was pretty much what I thought of when I was annoyed, with the annoyances of life. And one of the things that I found with perimenopause and menopause is that everything was getting on my nerves. So she's the outward manifestation of how I sometimes feel on the inside, and how I'm not, I want to tell everybody off, and I want to be left alone, and all of that kind of stuff. This is Hilda. So, and she came about because someone challenged me to make a doll that was plump. And she is quite plump, and you will have the chance to see what she totally looks like in some other videos. And Hilda is kind of funny because if you have her this side, she looks kind of angry. And if you have her this side, she's kind of smiling. So, she's rough around the edges, but she's a big softie. Her role is to just tell it like it is, throw out her opinions, and her coaching role is she's going to have not a podcast, but a platform where she does Hilda's hot takes. And it can be about anything and everything. Sometimes menopause, sometimes just life in general, little irritations of life. Hilda's your gal. I had another lovely doll. She left with a friend of mine to be her music manager. You'll find pictures of her in some of the videos. Her name was Ruby. Here we have Madge. And Madge is like that, that sweet old lady, except she's not. She's also very direct, very blunt. And I think, of course, the dolls I would make are blunt because I have a gene inside me that makes me very blunt. And I got that from my mother. And of course, my dolls are all a manifestation of me somehow. So we have Madge. She wants to be pretty, but she also doesn't care what people think about her. So she's kind of basing her look on the ladies of New York City who dress extravagantly, to go get the mail. She needs a few more outfits because you can't have just one. But she's quite proud of her glasses. And her pearls. So this is Madge, and Madge is the money management coach. And she will explain in a video why she is the coach, or why my story. Why money is important and how we can deal with money when we're on a limited income, especially when we're on a limited income. She's not interested in telling people how to invest or how to be rich. She is wanting to teach people how to have enough money to buy food, how to pay the bills, and how to, scrape up something together. And she might talk about different meals. She might talk about how to save a few little tiny amount for an emergency, but mostly how to look at money in a different way, especially if we've never really had much money to begin with. This is Madge. And this one is a new addition to the group. I'm calling her Aunt Lulu, and she was kind of, I looked on Pinterest at different crochet dolls, and I had never made one that was apple shaped. We have Hilda, who's quite curvy, but this one is a, apple shaped doll, which is the reality. All of us are shaped differently, and here she is. She's a lot of fun. She cracks the joke. She's a cheerleader, so she's not really a coach, although she'll probably bring more wisdom than we expect, because we always expect jokes from her. And when I made her, I was looking up, thankfully there's many people doing crochet online, and that's been a great community for me to follow. People were talking about creating a skull cap and attaching the hair to it so that you would not see the head, you would see the same color. And I haven't completed the hair, but I'm tempted to leave it like that because, she ran out of the house quickly, didn't have time to comb her matted hair. So that works for me. Simpler the better. Aunt Lulu. So you might be getting by now that basically these dolls are me. These dolls are my story. And they will use my voice, but they will be front and center in the videos. If you have any questions for any of the coaches, please feel free to put that in the comments in any of the videos. And I have little plans to keep this interactive. I would love for you to participate in terms of, let me know who your favorite coach is. Have you learned anything? Is there anything you think that coach should talk about? Is there any kind of coach you would like to see that we don't have? Because I'm always crocheting. I have another one. She's brown, and she's kind of like a golden brown. And I just need to assemble her and create her persona, but all the parts are there. So there will be more coaches in the future. So if you have any ideas of any coaches you would like to see, tell us. And the whole purpose of calling this a Menopausal Coach Collective, here comes the disclaimer: we are not professional menopause coaches. We are women in menopause who are muddling through menopause the best we can and sharing what we've learned along the way. And menopause is not just about our physical bodies, it's about our emotional states. It's about reclaiming who we are, it's about gaining confidence. So that is what the whole purpose of these dolls are. So I'm hoping you will join me, us. And I didn't mention Dee's, I did mention it, but did not specifically state it. Dee's role is medical advocacy, dealing with doctor's appointments, dealing with professionals, dealing with structures in society, example, disability, having to make so many phone calls for things that we need, etc. She's the one who's going to talk about all of that stuff. I want to also say that it's a Canadian collective. If you're from any other country, you're welcome to join us, but just know that some of the specifics that we will talk about, especially when we're talking about money or something like that, are the references are going to be Canadian. But if you want to share what happens in your country or in your area, that's also very welcome. So I'm hoping you're going to subscribe and you're going to like some of our posts and join us, because I can't be alone doing this. We need each other. We need a community. So on that lovely note, I think it was lovely, I'm gonna have my coffee now, and I'll see you all soon.